I'm Paul Taylor. Hello.
Hello, I'm Richard Draper.
And welcome to the first ever superhero Pitstop podcast. So we're just going to sort of go along with the flow, aren't we, Richard, and just see what comes up in the discussions and that.
Yeah, this is the first one, so we might mumble on a bit, but we'll try and get all the main topics covered, I think.
Brilliant. Well, I think I'll just like obviously say that I'm Paul Taylor, and believe it or not, I'm a pornographer. And obviously that's my job, but I love comic books. I always have done. I've liked them since I was a kid. And the fact that we, in the 21st century, the comic book movies are just coming out thick and fast, and there's basically anything from the comics now can be translated to screen, and it's a good time to be a comic book fan, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the first ever, obviously when I was younger I used to read comics, but I can remember the first ever time I saw like a comic book movie was Batman, 1989.
Right,
I can remember going to the corner shop and hiring it out on video.
Brilliant.
It was, really good.
I mean, even now, it's still brilliant, but I do think the best Batman's Christian Bale. Even though Michael Keaton is rooted in my childhood, I just think just the depth that he took it to with obviously Nolan's version's it's just a lot better, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the difference between Nolan and obviously the Tim Burton two Batmans was, I think Tim Burton tried to do them too similar, whereas Nolan has taken Begins, Dark Knight and Rises, and they're all separate movies. They're all totally different.
Yeah. Well, do you not think though that was from the age where, like, using say Ghostbusters 1 and 2 as an example, there's a bit at the beginning where there's a ghost. There's a bit where they're not Ghostbusters. There's a bit where they have the main catch in the middle of a film, and then they have the end scene. Sequels were sort of mapped out to mirror the success of the first one, and I think even Batman Returns sort of did that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, obviously Nolan, I mean, we all know that Nolan would not have done The Dark Knight Rises if, as he keeps saying in interviews, he didn't have a story to tell, because he's not bothered about the money as such in terms of, oh, the other one made $1 billion worldwide, so we've got to do another one. He just thinks, no, I don't. I will if I've got a story to tell.
Yeah, I mean, because if you looked at it, Begins didn't do that well at the box office, really.
Well, not the way the sequel or the third one's looking like it is, but again, Batman and Robin, I'm sorry to swear and bring the tone down, but that left a bad taste in people's mouth. And when I first heard they were rebooting Batman, I was like, oh fuck no, leave it alone, because they'd ruined it. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
and like I say, I think I've said to you before, Nolan basically invented the reboot. Forget reboots in comic books like the Incredible Hulk and stuff, and they're doing it now with Superman as well. There wasn't a reboot in any franchise until he did that. Because a reboot is a complete re-imaging of something that you can ignore what's come before. You never have to have seen that, and you can enjoy this for what it is. Exactly. I mean, even Star Trek. I'm not a Star Trek fan. I loved the 2008
the total
version.
The reboot of Star Trek, brilliant. And as well, when you're going into reboots, when obviously Batman Begins first came out, people took the film with a pinch of salt, but people were still complaining, say, about the soundtrack, because obviously Danny Elfman's Batman theme tune was obviously not as iconic as John Williams' Superman, but
yeah,
it was the Batman theme.
Yeah.
And then obviously Hans Zimmer totally scrapped that and did something different. And now obviously with Man of Steel coming out next year, I know obviously the Superman theme is the Superman theme, and obviously some people will want to have that, but with it being a total reboot, in my opinion, as much as I love the Superman theme, they've got to go away from it.
Well, Snyder said at Comic-Con, I don't know if you've watched some of the panel videos on YouTube, but he said, we're acting as if a version of Superman's never existed, and the movies are their own thing. And to break that rule and put the theme tune in is basically going against what we're trying to do. And I mean, I think it's the best way to go, because for once his costume looks alien. I mean, why would alien, cloth and stuff look like spandex? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I can watch Christopher Reeves. I'll always love him. He'll always be my hero, and he'll always be the best Superman. But I'm quite willing to take this on face value. I don't think I'll compare this because it's going to be so different. You won't be able to. Where Superman Returns was a brilliant gamble, and in some parts it did work. When that music came on and stuff, I mean, the hairs on the back of your neck stood up, didn't it? You did think about Christopher Reeve, and that's when it started to fail because you just thought, well, it's not him.
I think that was the main sticking point for Returns, is that they tried, basically, it was supposedly set after 2, before 3, and they obviously wanted, Bryan Singer wanted somebody who resembled Christopher Reeve, but you're never going to get anybody, although Brandon Routh did look like Christopher Reeve, he had some of the mannerisms and that, but Christopher Reeve, that was the big thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't get us wrong. I mean, I can still put it on in HD and watch the plane rescue scene and little bits and stuff.
Brilliant.
I mean, it's fucking brilliant. But I mean, I must admit, I still can't get around the fact that he hasn't got a red cape. It's too dark.
Too dark. Yeah.
I mean, some of the shots of the Henry Cavill's Superman suit, the way it was reflected on some people's digital camera stills, it looks black. Obviously, it's not. It's dark blue. But I can get away with dark blue. I mean, Dean Cain had a dark blue Superman suit, but he still had the red. It's the red that you see when he swishes past the camera.
Yeah, I mean, when the promo picture came out of Man of Steel with Superman in the bank vault, you couldn't really make the suit out that well, and obviously there were a lot of people complaining, saying, "Oh, it's too dark," and there's this and that, and also when now we can actually see the suit, and obviously there's been set pictures and they've shown the suit at the licensing expo and at Comic-Con. I think it looks amazing.
Well, I think
the,
it does.
chainmail effect to it as well. I think that looks really good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Man of Steel, it's got a texture to it. It looks like you say, very textured and stuff. He's still got the S-Shield, which I think was brilliant on Superman Returns. I loved the 3D S-Shield. I thought that was good, so we kept that. The bank vault picture, obviously, everyone was saying, where's his pants? And people were even photoshopping over the top, saying, oh, it's there, it's just the shadows blocking it. We didn't know, did we? But
no,
I'm happy with it. And to be honest with you, I mean, Christopher Reeve will never look silly.
I think they've got to move away from the pants.
well, they've got to. I mean, Christopher Reeve will never look silly, but I think in the 21st century, someone from Krypton won't wear his underpants on the outside. I'm happy. I'm not... I'm more happy with that than I was about the new Spider-Man suit. I mean, I still don't like the stripes down the side, even though it was explained.
What, on Spider-Man?
Yeah, aye. Does my head in. I don't know why.
See, I preferred the new Spider-Man suit to the Maguire one, but I think that just comes down to personal preference.
Well, maybe it does. I mean, it could have been exactly like the traditional Spider-Man suit, which the Raimi one was. And I do like the fact that the webs look scratched in and not 3D. I like that. He's got the right face and stuff, and most of it's really good. It's just that I think, I don't know, like the belt's missing, and it just doesn't. I mean, when you're watching the film, I don't think you even think about it. So that proves that it works as long as Spider-Man's Spider-Man, and he is. But I think it's just when I see the stills, I just think, I don't like that. But when you watch the film, you forget about it. So maybe that's the idea.
Yeah, exactly.